Salud for lava.
Been off on a bit of a hiatus, but a lot to talk about. The past few weeks that we haven't been off, so still, I think, I've still got to put this on YouTube, but if it works out, this will be the week of the test, the Pacific Cup Championship test between Tonga and Samoa Suncorp, but we'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
But it's been a big few weeks for us both. But brother, congratulations, man. Good job.
Oh, thank you, man. Thank you. Yeah. It's there's been a lot happening. You've been away on holiday as well.
Yep.
So we'll get into some of that.
Yeah, 100%.
Some of that meaty stuff. But just as we do, climbing that corporate ladder. Just always trying to progress. Just been blessed to sort of have an opportunity to go somewhere else, and also been blessed to have the skill built up over the last couple of years. So just blessed and honoured to move on.
100%, mate. So for the millions of viewers at home, give us a bit of a background, mate. Like, where you were with your current company now, how you got that role and the role that you're in now, and the new job where you've just successfully taken on now. So
yeah,
a bit of a dive there, mate, for our loyal viewers.
Yeah. Well, in the beginning, in the beginning, where we started, brother.
Long time ago.
So I'll just go back to there because that's where the grassroots of it started, right? When we were working, we were sort of like in stores, hands-on, storing guys. We were pretty much in the manufacturing side, so that's where I pretty much cut my teeth. Just warehouse work. Eventually evolved into sort of managing some of the office tasks. And then moving more into a purchasing role. So a purchasing role at the Yatla, remember the Lifestyle Blinds?
Yes, the Lifestyle Shutters, was it Lifestyle Shutters or Blinds?
Lifestyle Blinds and Shutters. So there I was 11 years. And that's where I sort of just perfected my craft there, And for years there I was getting paid shit, man, like shit pay. But the thing was, I just wanted to learn everything. And through there, as a purchasing officer, I got involved in the warehouse. I got involved in logistics. I was just asking questions, ask questions, learning things. And you got some people that just don't want to do their job. Yeah, no worries, put your hand up, just get it done.
Yep.
And pretty soon I figured out how to sort of like the supply chain management work.
So just with that there, we'll just pause there. When you got into the purchasing role, you didn't sort of jump into the purchasing role. You actually worked on the floor.
100%.
With like you said before, with the assembly and the manufacturing side of things. So how did that step up happen for you? Like, how did you sort of work your way up into that purchasing role and then into management?
Yeah, man, look, everything's sort of work ethic, all right? So work ethic, you got the work ethic, that comes through. And then the second part is just those God-given opportunities. So if the door opens, these opportunities come up, you just go through it. And I think back then, you're not thinking about like, I'm gonna jump this corporate ladder or work the corporate ladder. You just think like, just do the job, man. Just jump in, understand it, make it work. Because I found that if I did other sides of the jobs, it sort of gave me clarity on what I was doing.
Yep.
So I'll jump in different areas, go, oh, that makes sense. So that's what they do on their side. And just trying to work that way. That's the work ethic that I put through, is trying to understand the business and the flow. All of a sudden, I'm doing all these other jobs and getting my hands dirty, and it just evolved into these opportunities that we're in today.
So 11 years there, and we just obviously started on the floor there with the manufacturing assembly. Did you do storeroom as well, or?
No, with Lifestyle Blinds, that was the first job that I was just straight office.
Okay.
Yeah. So before that, all the other jobs was all factory warehousing,
right. Yep.
sweeping the floors. When I got introduced to Lifestyle Blinds, I was in the office at the previous job. I wasn't a purchase in the office, man. I was just in the office. I took phone calls. Like I said, just jumping and trying to understand the business.
Yeah.
So I knew how to take phone calls. I knew how to make purchase orders and order stuff for the company. So I sort of just went, yeah, that's what I do. But when I got into the business and I got accepted, obviously I was a little green. And thank God for the company. They supported me in starting to sort of get that skill level up. So yeah. That was the first job that I got into, sort of the office mode.
It's very interesting that you say that, because I think that's a skill that's lost these days, is just people just jumping in and just, giving everything a crack, and just sort of getting your hands dirty in different areas, you know, of a business, and doesn't necessarily have to be your role. You know, I think that's sort of a skill that's lost these days. You know, a lot of people just want to be focused on their role. They don't sort of want to explore anything out of that. So, mate, that's a big credit to you, and it's obviously worked out.
It's paid its dividends. Yeah, I guess that's the way God was leading. You know, when I was going through the employment side of it, and just working through the progress and everything, he's just sort of like opened up these doors, and it made me curious. So the biggest thing, I was like curious, how does this work? Why does it work this way, and why am I doing what I'm doing? So when you're departmentalized, you're just in your department, it goes from this department to yours, you do your bit, and you don't know where it came from and how it goes out, right?
Yeah.
And I was just curious, it's like, why do we do this part? And then when you get clarity on that, you know how, you know, your experience you get a lot better with your experience, because you start thinking about, well, actually I can change the way I'm doing this because they're doing that. And so from there, with the experience, I started thinking about efficiencies, how to make it better. And with the efficiencies came all the experience. So through the years, man, like we spoke about the other night, it was like 20 years. 20 years of just like procurement. Because 2006 is when I sort of entered that admin space.
Yeah.
So where we're at 2025, man, we're going to
nearly 20 odd years.
So we're looking at 20 years of just looking at that, and then just finding ways to be efficient and just putting that process through. So yeah, developed, and from there, obviously moved up to Brisbane, and Brisbane's the home of the big jobs. You know, Gold Coast there, yeah, you got a few jobs, but there's not much opportunity. And when I came up here to Brisbane, it just threw me in with the big dogs, and intimidated at first, you know, because you think you're just a small town purchasing officer. But when you go in there and you sit in the seat and you start listening and you're hearing things, you're like, man, this stuff is elementary shit, right?
Yeah, you did exactly what you're doing.
It's all basic stuff, and I understood. I didn't get cocky about it, but I just changed and I just implemented everything that I've learned from my experience, implemented into the company, and things just developed and grew and grew. And and then through that, through the course, I was picking up different titles, you know. So started off as purchasing and moved to inventory. Inventory, they went, well, you know a lot more than inventory, so they promoted me to a distribution manager. From a distribution manager, I found another job at Bus, and I went from distribution manager to procurement and warehouse manager. And now I'm at there. My new opportunity now is the procurement technical. So now it's more of a specialized niche. So, yeah.
So vast experience, man, and obviously, it's also credit to you, and don't discount that, man. You know, you put in the hard yards, and it's obviously, you know, your talent and your confidence in your walk with Jesus that sort of supported you with it. You know, but don't discount the fact that you've gone in there and you've executed the plan.
100%.
You know, you haven't sort of sat back. You know, God's given you all the resources there, and you haven't sort of sat and on your hands and gone, oh, you know, please open the door, please, you know, this. You've actually acted on it, and you've executed the plan. Yeah. Pretty precisely as well, I might add. It's been really good.
It's just a blessing, and you know, just thinking about what you're saying there. You know, us island boys, you know, pretty humble about taking that sort of those accolades. But yeah, no, I've learned to accept. Like, man, you've done some work. And
I was chatting with a good friend of mine, Kennedy Ngalo, who does 2XL workshops.
Yep.
He's a man of God, Samoan brother. But yeah, same thing. You know, he's like us. You know, we've got to really accept that. You know, we can do the stuff. You know, we can. You know, do the roles that we've been, you know, assigned to do.
100%.
You know, and it's good to be humble. You know, that's in our culture, that's in our DNA, it's in the Polynesian makeup.
Yep.
But I think we can get a bit too carried away with a bit of false humility, if that makes sense.
There we go. So we've got to draw the line somewhere sometimes, and we've spoken about this, that we're so humble, and you know, when you're in a room, office full of executives or your senior membership board.
Speak to us, mate, because you've been in those roles, mate.
Absolutely.
Please share.
I mean, you sit back as islanders, you know, we're humble. They're older, you know, respect, let them speak, you listen. But when you come to a leadership role, you need to speak up. You need to speak up. You need to put your ideas forward, and it's no longer sort of like, you know, a respect thing. You're still respectful, you're still humble, but you got to speak up and just put your mind forward. We've spoken many times before where, you know, growing up, our parents are always like, nah, shut up, you know.
Yeah.
You know, it's just culture. You just respect your parents, you respect your elders, and you just shut your mouth whether you're right or wrong. And all that, that's great when you're growing up, but it's sort of, this is the dynamic that happens when you get into these leadership positions, is that you start to step back, and they see it as like maybe, you know, you're not wired for the job.
Yeah, you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah, you don't know what you're doing, or you don't understand, or whatever it is. So it's really important when you're in that sort of in that scene there, that you speak up and you put your ideas forward, and you find out later on, you know, after a couple of years of doing this, I just find like everyone's at the, you know,
you're at the same level.
Everyone's at the same level.
Yeah.
Everyone's at the same level. No one knows more than anyone. You don't know more than anyone, but you always put something forward, and you always put humbly and respectfully forward. And they take on your ideas. So
100%.
Yeah, no, 100%. That's you know, there's not much when I look at it, not many Islanders in these roles, and when you do find one, you sort of find that confidence as well.
Yeah.
And it's generally the new generation that's come through.
And that's one thing I've noticed as well as the new generation. Obviously, you're a father, and it's the generation that we're bringing up. Mm-hmm. Is that we're, you know, instilling that confidence in them. You know, we're allowing them to speak.
Yep.
You know, and you know, allowing them to thrive and to be, you know, pull them into line when needed, but allowing them, you know, to experience and giving them that confidence that when they do go into a room full of, you know, execs or whatever it may be, that they're not intimidated, that they have that confidence to speak out. And that's something I'm working on myself personally, because you know, my self-esteem is pretty shit.
Yeah.
I've got to admit.
Yeah, okay.
You know, even though people go, oh, you know, you do this and that, but no, I'm actually rat shit when it comes to my self-esteem. So, you know, I look to you, brother, and I say, fuck, man, you know, my brother's doing it, I can do it too.
100.
You know?
Yeah.
But I'm still working through it.
Yeah, no,
sort of thing. So
initially, that was me, you know. And over the years, you learn, like, you actually force yourself to say something or put something forward. And then further down the road, it just becomes natural. You know, you just put, it's just input. It's information that needs to be pulled out.
Yeah.
So, I kind of feel like that's the generalization over us Islander boys, or even the sisters, you know.
Yeah, 100%.
Just trying to keep that sort of respect, but there's a line where it's sort of like it's business, right?
Yeah, and you're right too. It's a new generation coming through that are now really, you know, getting in there, and we're seeing more of them, you know, in those sort of higher end roles, whether it be middle management, exec management, whatever it may be. But they're, you know, they're getting in there and getting amongst it, you know. And your kids are like that too, you know, go getters and just really confident in themselves too. So, mate, that's a credit to you. But now with your new role there, obviously, is there a bit of a pay rise for you, or what's the go with that?
Yeah. So going across, obviously, there's some negotiations that were happening, but I think it's more the opportunity that I'm looking at.
Yep.
So it's a new phase, and it's more directed towards procurement, technical. So I think there's an engineering element in there, and so when I looked at the opportunity, I thought like it's more than just going across for money. There's something I can pull out for this, and we spoke earlier about developing our skills on paper.
Yeah.
Right, because we got it, we know what we're doing, but we don't really engage in the side of like let's get the paper to it, you know.
Yeah.
The ticket to the dance. So to speak.
100%. Yeah, we really need that ticket to the dance, because, you know, what we're talking about previously is just that, you know, if we do, and, you know, we're afforded, I guess, these roles because of us as people.
Yeah.
Like when people give us the opportunity to speak, they go, oh, wow, you know.
Yeah.
But, you know, if we go and seek or something, you know, with the experience that we've got tons of experience, but we don't have the bit of paper it's like the icing on the cake, I guess.
Yep. 100%.
You know, which could open the door for us in another way.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
But I think it's one of those things that, like yourself, I need to get to a bit of study, get back onto that, and then really, you know, I guess focus on that to as another avenue to open up other doors.
Yeah.
You know, for opportunities and land like yourself as well. So then I guess that's something that you want to do too.
No, blessed, brother. Blessed to be there, and looking forward to the next chapter. But anyway, enough on me, brother. Let's push this over towards you. Last couple of weeks, Thailand, mate. You know,
Mate.
we talk about the blessed opportunities to go on holidays, and you know, generally the holidays, you know, an hour, 2 hour drive somewhere. But man, you've had the opportunity to go to Thailand. This is your second time.
Yeah, second time in Thailand. I was very blessed to go, and you went earlier in the year.
Yep. Some insights, mate. Some insights.
It was just unreal. So it was our second time there with the CEO, the wife. It was our second time there, but our first time in Bangkok. So we flew into Bangkok via Taipei because there's no direct flights from Brisbane. I don't know why.
No direct flights.
No direct flights from either, you know, Sydney, Brisbane, or Melbourne. So you've got to either go through via Singapore or Taipei.
All right, that something must have changed because we went direct.
Yeah, we had no direct flights, so we went through via Taipei into Bangkok, spent 3 nights there, and the missus loved it because we went to MBK. You know, MBK. So if you aren't familiar with MBK, they've got all the baddest dupes in the world. So they've got shops there. I think it's on level 3. I think it was the main one.
Oh, mate. There's levels and levels of this stuff.
There's levels of stuff, but I think level 3 is the main ones there. But you know, out front they've got their shops there where they, you know, sell all the dupe bags, shoes, watches, you name it. They've got it. But then they've got secret rooms at the back. Where they reckon it's the quality stuff. I don't know if it's the same or whatever.
Yeah, it is, man. It's the supposedly genuine stuff. They can't really sell it to the public because they go through, so it's the backroom stuff.
And funny enough, because Vanessa got herself a Yves Saint Laurent tote bag, which she loved. It retails for about $5.5 grand. She got it for $300.
Oh, there we go.
But we're talking to the guys at the shop, and they reckon that they had the cops come through the week before.
And
doing a bit of a raid. Did a raid. So they're very fun. They're very, you know, obviously a bit standoffish if you got cameras and all that sort of stuff in there. So I put the GoPro away there. I'll get all that stuff.
Thailand's locking down on that sort of stuff.
So but yeah, it was outstanding, man. Just going through there and just having a look. Got a couple of shirts and stuff there, and I think you managed to get some stuff when you were there as well.
Barter City. So did you barter for any of that?
Mate,
or did you just take it at face value?
I take it at face value. I'm not a barterer like you and Vanessa. She loves a bargain, bro. You know that.
Yeah.
So any time we're there, she was, you know, bartering with the locals there, and she ended up getting a price, you know, but. It was good though, just watching her, you know, go backwards and forwards with the guys and that.